Alrighty. Hello everybody, welcome back. Whew, so we have added hands. I went back to the Blender animation and I realized that my hands weren't actually aligned. The thumb, especially when it goes for the switch, it wasn't actually aligned to the proper location. And I think that's because I was messing around with influences during the stream, and I might have knocked off a variable where the influence amount is set, so I was animating the hand in the wrong coordinate space. So, fix that up, and now we have something that actually works. Okay, so for this video, there's going to be a couple of things that I need to improve. First of all, this whole thing is just on all the time, and that switch has to be flicked on. We need to place a light, and I think we also need to do walking animation. Let me actually write this down. You know what? Let's see. This is Artag. No, this is Dreadtail. Okay, so things to do for today. Radio, pick up, turn on. What is it? Switch, flip. That's the first thing. Hello, Mr. Yo. Yes. Let's take a look. Radio, pickup, switch, flip. Second, walk, run, idle, cam, animations through blend trees. That's the next thing. Next, crowbar, prying of the security cabinet, and was it propane storage cage. That's gonna be the third thing. Cool. So let's get the radio pickup thing first. Okay, so if we go to the radio detector, we know we have this flip switch here. When it's off, it has to be down. When it's on, it has to be up. Okay. Cool. So copy this. Now this generic item, does it have an on variable? It does not, because not every item is technically turnable. So we're going to do on is false. We'll give it a function, turn on, or I guess toggle on, new state. On is going to be equals to new state. We're going to see if we can actually animate this through animation player, or if it drops the method call track. Who knows? Maybe they improved it in Godot 4. And then in the process function, we're gonna do what? We're gonna do toggle switch. You're working Astro Rush while watching the stream. Let's say it wasn't a very productive day. Oh, come on. You gotta learn to listen with one ear and out the other. Turn me into background noise. Okay. We're gonna take rotation. Okay, rotation degrees, I believe. We're gonna set it to, I guess we can smoothly transition it to either this number if off or not on, else I believe it's just the same number but negative. Let's see. Yep, that's what it is. Minus rotation degrees x, and we're gonna divide it by like 3, so it's a fairly quick thing. Okay, now, if we go here, if we go to... You know, we did right-click on the radio detector here, and we did make editable children, which kind of tells me that maybe... Oh, hold on a sec. This isn't done from here. This is done from the player. Right. Okay. Now, same principle. We did right-click on the hand rig, and we made it editable in scene. So, would it not make sense that any changes I make here would be local to this animation player? Hmm. Especially when you fuck around with fingers, I need to see, otherwise I might visualize in an inappropriate way. Oh boy, I hate to see you listen to guitar lessons, and the instructor says, "Alright, class, now we're gonna be fingering A minor." Yeah. Okay, so we got the something. What do we have? Item, take out radio locator. Well, okay, so here's what I can do. I can have the item effectively run the animation player run a function in the player, and the player is going to be the one that turns on the radio. Okay, so let's do this. Func radio turn radio toggle, and then to do this, we talk to item held node, get child 0, and then toggle on, and then the new state is simply going to be forwarded into it. Okay. Now, this is going to be pickup. Okay, so right there. This is probably not going to work. I doubt it. Okay, so we're going to send it to the player. Insert key. No, that's toggle inventory. I think I haven't saved the script yet. There we go. One more time. Toggle, there we go. Radio toggle. We are going to send one argument. It's going to be a boolean. It's going to be true. Okay. Parent does a control that's set to full rect. I assume there's a remainder to that question. I'm usually really weary of animating user interface stuff because it might break responsiveness. So if I, at any way, shape, or form can, instead of animating position, I animate stuff like center spacing or content margins of like a rect node inside, if that is in any way, shape, or form possible. Or maybe like nested inside of another node and then animate its position in location to that node, but that node is like a control node with 1 pixel dimension or something. Yeah, it's really tricky when everything in the responsive UI is like hard coded to always respond to different changes. You can't really start manipulating the positions. So it's not really an area that I have fully figured out a more applicable process in. I wish they had like a secondary position property, like offset position. Maybe they do, but it's not called that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Might just animate up, down, and an X in code. Maybe. If you're not making a responsive game and it just like scales itself up and down when you maximize it, then doesn't matter. You can animate all you want. Okay, so here we have the toggle. Now, is that gonna stay there? We also need to disable grabbing. Nope. Okay, so that did not stay there. While I'm on the subject, let's go into the player. We have process input. Toggle inventory. Open note. Where's our interaction? We have object grabbing. Okay. Cool. If we have object grabbing, we should probably prevent grabbing from actually working. So if what is it called? There's a variable that we created specifically for this. What is it called? Looking at bashable. Nope. Locked in interaction. Now, is that it? Nope. Nope. No, that's for physically interactable objects. Okay, for physically interactable objects like levers, valves, and other rigid bodies. Yeah, we have something else, which may actually be further up. Also, we keep playing this orientation test, which is why we see our hands spaz out for just a moment right in the beginning of the game. Now, in scripted animation, there we go. If in scripted animation, return. Now, this doesn't account for if we're already holding something. Stretching is set to canvas item. Yeah, so that means it just resizes your game window to any size, which means you should be able to animate things freely without accidentally things appearing on the screen. Okay. Now, this is one thing. What about the actual pickup? I think this is it. Object grabbing. If we're in scripted event, return. This might actually be it. Yeah, I think this is it. Hmm. No. Well, maybe we cleared it too early. We should say it's cleared. Colors cleared. Textures cleared. Indicator hand visible false. And then grab node collider. Interesting. We probably don't need to do this here. We can just do it right here. And then here, do not process interaction while locked in scripted animation. Okay. Oh, what the heck is can scroll? Hold on a sec. Can scroll. I think we'll place it here. Because I noticed that I could actually swap items. Use the scroll wheel and swap items while I'm in the middle of the animation. And that kind of screwed things up, so that's something we need to fix. Nice. Okay, we got a little bit of clipping there that needs to be fixed. Okay. Cool. Let's get the radio detector to not produce the sounds all the time. What do we got? Toggle switch. Knob sounds. Okay, so we'll do if not on, return. Okay. Cool. I believe that the static auto plays. We don't want that. We want it to start playing when we toggle it on. So if on, I guess we could just do this. Or yeah, this is event based. So if on is true, we tell it to play. Curious how the suggestions didn't pop up. Okay. Then we have beacon close, which also auto plays. Beacon far. Okay, so all these nodes have to start playing. Beacon static sound effects, beacon close, beacon far. Okay. Now, else, if it has just been toggled off, we need to stop. Find myself casting to the type to actually have suggestions. I find that's been happening a lot more lately. Like, clearly the node is here. It's not instanced in the code. It's here. It should know about it. I'm literally talking to $static, a sound effect. It should be able to know what it is. Maybe it's because this is an inherited script, right? So it doesn't attach itself to this node. Technically, it is run by that node, but it sources more code from the generic item. So it's like, oh, I don't know where everything is. Whole. Who knows? But then this is a rigid body. So freeze shows up, freeze mode. It knows about the top node, but not its children. So maybe not. Might work if it has a unique name, but it shouldn't, right? It doesn't make sense. It knows what node I'm talking to. It's literally in this scene. Okay, so... Okay, that's fine. We're gonna make sure that these nodes don't start automatically. Cool. Our entire process function, all the interaction here, is disabled. Calculate destination, that's disabled. Input. Now this is curious. So input technically works, because we should still be able to mess around with the knobs, I think. Yeah. But even though input works, the rotation does not get applied, doesn't it? No, target beacon. Target beacon, beacon sounds. No, maybe it is. It is physics process. It runs all the time. Yep. Yes, it does actually work. Okay, that's fine. If editing VS Code. Oh god, I don't know if VS Code would actually give you suggestions for Godot stuff. Is it even aware? What the Why can we hear the beacon? Okay, on is false. Yes. Channel. Oh, beacon timer. Right. It tells it to play. So only if on is true will it play. And then also the needle jump only needs to be done. It does with a plugin. Cool. Okay, why do we hear the noise still? What else is playing? Let's have a print command. This is radio locator toggled, and then print the new value. Okay, so did it get toggled? It did not. So why do we hear? Do we leave it on? Yeah, we did. There we go. We'll also have to play around with volumes because it seems like porting into Godot 4 has messed around with the volume levels. So they don't quite sound the same as it was in Godot 3. Okay. Could probably hide these labels now. Oh yeah, we should also get the camera animation in here. I think that's going to give it a much more dynamic look. Okay, but yeah, you can see that the animation doesn't seem to toggle anything. Remote detection, timer was not added. Right. Wait, what? Activity light delay. Room black box. What? Okay. Quick sidetrack. Activity light delay. It's right there. Timer was not added to the scene tree. Either added or set auto start to true. Huh? Is it like trying to run it before it's actually due to run? We should probably at some point take a couple of hours to clear the veritable Christmas light of errors at the bottom. Remote detection. Ah, it did run. Why would it run? Oh, it's a setter getter functions. Damn it. Okay. So, you see, this is the problem. Wait, hold on. Maybe something is toggling it. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. And we're going to see if the stack trace tells us what causes it to toggle. I think I know what causes it to toggle. There's literally a black box remote sitting right next to the black box in the one of the debugger or one of the earlier bunker rooms. Okay, minimize, come on. There we go. We should do a little quest. We're gonna see how many times can I click the minimize button. What's the highest number I can scroll? How many times I can rack up before Godot finally decides to let me minimize the application. 14 is the high score. Right, anyway, so it does look like Black Box Remote is triggering it because it did detect that it has entered it. But that could very well mean that it did so before it was even ready. Because it's complaining about this nonsense here. It says, well, it doesn't say anything now. Great. Oh, that's probably because I have to let it continue at least once. Let's see. There we go. And then once it reaches the start command, which is right here. Boop. No? No error? Oh, it hasn't reached the start yet. So here, it's about to run the start. Now it ran the start. We still got nothing. What? The shitsicles. Return. Alright. I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is. I think that the, as soon as the game runs, it immediately detects body entered. And there's this thing, when you try to instance something, when you detect a body entering, it flips out. Godot, it doesn't crash, but Godot says, hey, the physics hasn't had a chance to process stuff, so you're not allowed to instance things when it's in the middle of processing the physics signal of the area. And the solution to that would be to do whatever it needs to do in a deferred frame, deferred to the next frame. Now, in our case, we have the black box remote. Okay. So I'm going to just let it continue. Okay. And then swapping back here. Oh, it didn't give me the error again. But I'm actually just gonna run it one more time so I can catch that error. It's weird, like right now it didn't pop up. Okay. Where's the black box remote? And then where's the black box itself? Room black box. Here we go. Okay, let's run it. Okay, let's hope this little sidetrack doesn't end up costing us too much. Okay, and then... Okay. Sure. There we go. Remote detection. So this is the black box remote. I suppose remote detection is what is being executed here. And that is being executed because set is being changed. Remote detected. Right. So black box remote is the one that does the detection. Remote detected becomes true. Right. So what we're probably going to have to do is this. We go to fuse box, and we're going to handle it through a... Oh, that's not it. We need the room black box. Where did I move that to? I did not move it anywhere. There we go. Okay, so instead of using set get, because clearly it doesn't like it, we're going to instead run the function. Remote detected is going to be borrowing new state. Literally going to do the same thing, except instead of doing set get, it's going to detect it, set it directly. So remote detected. Yep. So in the black box remote, whenever we're talking to this, we're just gonna do body.remote detection true. And then here, false. Let's do remote detected. Oh, right. Can't use remote detected because it's already a variable. Okay. Remote inside. Alrighty. All that nonsense. Now, I don't know why the set tripped up. Let's see. Let's... Right, I don't really care about this. I need to take a look at this. Nope, it still does it. So chances are, it's not the set get that causes it to trip up, it's the fact that we're doing this within here. So the way we can do this is we can tell the body to call deferred on this function. Now, the function's supplied this way, and then how do we provide the arguments? Call deferred. Do I have to give it a callable? No, actually. This one still uses the old-fashioned way. Method as a string name, and then all the arguments go after it. So we could just do true. And then here we do false. Kind of dumb, but okay. Sure. Okay, now let's see if it still stays. Oh. Now this is function called deferred because I spelled it wrong. Two R's. Two R's instead of two F's. Now I understand instancing and queuing free when the body entered is detected. But why timer? Yeah, there we go. So now it's gone. Okay, let's get back on track. So we have the animation player that is playing the animation. Okay, so we have the radio pickup, and as you can see, nope, it's still here. I think it's still here until I close and reopen the scene. Player. Okay, and we go back here. We go to pickup radio locator. Oh, it is. Okay, so the frame, curiously enough, is still here. But does it run the function? Let's see, radio toggle. Print animation player toggled radio function. Let's give that a test. Okay. And that's a nada. So this is weird. Even though it has the frame and it still has the track. Hold on. Does it have the track if I just outright close everything? Just reload current project. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's open up player. Let's see. Did the player preserve the frame? It did not. The frame is gone. So, there you go, folks. If you animate stuff in Blender, you cannot modify the animations to insert method call tracks to have the animations line up with stuff. That's a bit unfortunate. So it says foreign, which means it is stored inside of the GLB file. We can save it, but as soon as we save it, it is no longer going to be inheriting new animations from the Blender project. So once I add more animations to it, yeah, I would have to reload those animations from GLTF file and then resave it, which of course I'm gonna lose all the method call frames. So this, I swear, is probably the biggest pitfall in the whole resource system. Godot can't make changes to externally provided files. Now hold on a minute. Well, hold on a minute. Anytime you import a texture, Godot creates its own personal file for it, right? The stex, whatever the heck it's called, file. So the PNGs that you see here, they're actually cached copies of those textures. So Godot does create a local version of that. You can just hack it by animating a value in Blender that's just not visible in game. That is something that, I could do, but again, like now we're going into the world of workarounds, and there's plenty of workarounds to go around. It seems a little annoying. Like Blender creates, from what I understand, cached copies of textures because they need to be like converted to a format that Godot finds easier time working with. Why can't they do the same thing with animation tracks? Right? Just create a cached copy, maintain the inheritance. Like, how hard is it to keep an extra file of shit that has been added or changed to an animation? Okay, well, okay, so I could just have a piece of code that checks for the time of the animation. That's one of the workarounds. So click, pop. I could also have a second animation player with anything that needs to be added custom to it, which I think might actually be better. Again, workaround, but definitely doesn't require me coding a bunch of extra stuff. So I could just be like, animation player. We're going to call this additional stuff Godot devs didn't bother adding for no particular reason. And then we have pickup underscore radio underscore locator. So I'm going to add animation, pickup radio locator. Okay. Now we know that this animation has to have a scripted event happen right here around the 10-second mark. So we're going to give this 11 seconds. We're going to add a method call track. We're going to go to the 10-second mark. And then toggle radio. It accepts one argument, which is a Boolean, which takes true. And now we're going to take this inconspicuously called node. And then anytime we talk to, I guess, the pickup, the scripted event, we'll ask, hey, do you have an animation with the same name? And if you do, play it. Okay, we have inspect end, inspect start. What else we get? Sprint empty, idle, walk Bob, journal open, item takeout, inspect start, inspect end, and we're back to that. Where's the pickup? Item takeout. This is the player. Okay. There we... Oh, no, that's sound effects. What the shiz? Hold on a sec. What? Where's the pickup thing? Okay, it's gonna be in the item interaction. Oh, taking items into inventory. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so it never actually had an item in it. Yeah, well, if I did it the other way, where I did use a string called pickup underscore and use the item ID, I think this would have been easier to find. But nonetheless, we're going to talk to this node and then tell it to play the same exact animation, but only if it has that same animation. So has, and then, oh, okay, has animation. This is a big old if statement. So if it has that animation, then it will play that animation. I think that's it. Oh, that actually worked so well. But why did it play the click sound? I didn't expect it to play the click sound. What the heck? Where's the click sound? Radio. We should really call it a radio locator, to be honest. Okay, so it has static, beacon close, beacon far. That's the static. Oh, wait. Beacon close. That doesn't seem right. Oh, right. That's because we're actually populating. Yep. We're populating this node with a random sound right here, which we don't have to do that anymore. I guess we could just keep it here for the time being. Beacon sound effects. Radio located beep. I'm just going to replace this. It doesn't really matter if we do. I just want to have the correct sound for previews. There we go. Beacon far. And that's the distant. Okay. We got the sound randomizer here already. Interesting. Oh, this is why it played. When it's off, it doesn't run this code. And this code detects if the states of the knobs has changed. That's why. And the states of the knobs are different. So once we turn it on, it detects that the states are different, and it says, "Cool, we gotta tell them to adjust." Now this is actually kind of strange. Why is it different? Probably because knob rotations have changed. They're supposed to be matching these numbers over here. So if we do this, and this, and this should mean that the starting values of the knobs are the same, so it shouldn't play the switch. Okay, now we still need to play the switch sound, but I just want to make sure that we play the switch sound because we intended to play the switch sound, not because it's a byproduct of a little bit of a glitchy code. Yes, okay. So, when we play the toggle, which one do we want? We got this, this, and we got this. Channel change sounds, channel knob sounds. Okay, I think I'll play this one. And we'll just randomly choose a sound. That should be good. I think I'll have to make sure that the items play, the hands play the turn on sound, or turn on gesture, every time we take out the radio. And now we crashed. Well, that's interesting. Hell they know they. Okay. Cannot call method get on null instance. Okay, well that means that there's an error in this code. Oh, there we go. Man, I gotta say, this whole thing of typing, moving into the engine anytime there's a crash, kind of driving me nuts. Nice. Okay, let's place a light up here. Can we filter by sort by type? I don't want sort though, I want to filter. Nope. Interesting. Okay. So we have puzzle 2 light, pull tab light. Pretty sure this is a nice small one. We have body light. Hey. Nice. It's pretty small and inconspicuous. Just the right size, too. Cool. All right. So we'll go here. And then we know the pull tab has a toggle function. So we can do radio decoder. We're going to say pull tab light, toggle on. Dot wave PNG. Well, I mean star dot wave PNG. Nope. Would have been great. I mean, honestly, as little as that would be more than enough. Hold on. Hold on. Let me post a meme. Okay. I'm gonna need to source an image for why isn't it possible, you son of a bitch. I'm just gonna post it to Twitter, and that's gonna be my quota for shit posting for today. Okay, just want to be sure it doesn't get cropped. Cool. Yeah, no need for... Actually, yeah. I'll keep the extra tags. Beautiful. All right. Enough of shit posting. So the light should work now. It's the beauty of just prepping the light as a separate object and giving it all the necessary amenities. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Where's the light? Where's my damn light? Where'd you put my light? Oh, god damn it. Right, the viewport thing. Right. I guess I need to make editable children here. And add it to the list of stuff that needs to be put on a separate viewport. Which is where? Hello? Where's my FPS array? FPS nodes. There we go. Man, seriously, if they actually add that, like how much work would it actually be to add that to the source code? And just do a quick commit, you know, just make it available. How much work would that really be? Like, don't forget full-on regular expressions. Just give us that. Okay. Well, the light didn't turn on. Did it complain? Nope. Oh yeah, we're getting a lot of this stuff. Node cylinder was modified from the inside but vanished. And I think the porting process forced all the nodes that have a child node that has the same name as the parent node to be renamed with a number 2 at the end of it. And then Godot's complaining about it. I don't know what happened. This node just vanished. I can't find it anymore. Well, what's your porting routine? Oh, I'll just take a node that has the same name as the parent and I'll change the name for it. And do you see a problem with it? No, not really. Okay, well, go ahead and do it. What happened to all these nodes? I can't find them all of a sudden. Okay, enough bitching. What do we got? So it toggled, but it didn't actually do anything. Or did it toggle? There's a glow light. There's a material. It's got a process function. Print. Let's take a look. This is going to be pull tab light turned new state. Let's see if it's getting called. It should be getting called. Oh. Interesting. So it's constantly being called. And it's constantly being set to false. Now that's not what we want. Toggle on. Toggle on. Interesting. Pull tab light turned false. Okay. So is the player constantly calling it? It should not. This is weird. Oh, we have other pull tabs in the level besides this one. That's why. And they're all constantly being called too, so we might want to deal with that. I kind of knew that was going to be happening, but okay. Let's do export var dev false. And then unrecognized annotation export the. Okay, if dev is true, only then print it. Okay, so now we're gonna specifically ask this one to be the one that prints stuff. Okay. Okay. Pull tab light turned true. So it's true, and yet it doesn't seem to work. Okay. What if we do this? What if we go here, and then we toggle it on in a ready function, which we have a post ready we can use. So this should make it on right away. And if we see that light glowing right away, then the issue is the fact that glow doesn't seem to work in the FPS viewport. It works in the world, but not in the FPS viewport. Yeah, nope, doesn't glow. Okay, so now we gotta delve into this light. Why is that the case? Do we have two materials? Yep, emissions off. Okay, fascinating. So pull tab panel, this is a local material, or no, it's saved. Pull tab panel. Pull tap panel. I guess we textured it in conjunction with a bunch of other stuff. Emission? Okay. What texture are we using? Okay. Pool underscore tab underscore lag. So that's fine file naming on my part. Textures. There we go. And lever. Okay, so the emissive map is here. There we go. Cool. I guess additive is what we need to use. Do we have other maps? Normal? Yep. Ambient occlusion? Yep. Okay. Let's give that a test. Maybe it's just the case of a missing texture. And it's on, right? We don't need it to be on right away anymore, but it did glow, so that's good. Okay. Go away. Here we go. Nice. Okay, now I can still hear it, which means I'm still holding it. Even though technically it's not supposed to. Let's detect when the animation is done. Where do we detect it? Detect it in the player. Okay, so when the pickup animation is done, it will talk to the item held node, and then get child 0, and queue free it. Held object. Damn it. Queue free. Now I did actually note that if the if the picked up object is not pickup animation equipped, then it's actually going to still exist in the world because we removed the queue free command. Let's see. Do we have something in here we can pick up? Nope. Okay. Nice. Maybe we'll animate the player turning it off before they put it back. Okay. Well, now that seems pretty good. Is that something that we can take off the list? Radio pickup turn on switch. That's done. Cool. Now, there is a edge case scenario that I need to take a look at. If we have a hotbar selection, hotbar select item, let's do item 2. What's going to happen when the animation is done? Okay, like this. Oh boy. Whew. Okay, we're gonna have to address that. So realistically, this should be as simple as just deleting the item we're holding, because the item we're holding is just a placeholder. We need to check if there is an item being held. So we'll do remove the picked up item from held. Okay, so we'll do if item held node get child count is more than 0. And technically, the proper thing would be to loop through the things we're holding. There should never really be more than one item, but you never know what might happen. So why don't we just do that? For each item in. And the funny thing is, because we use a for loop, we don't actually need to check if it has anything, because if it's got nothing, then it will loop through nothing, which means it won't loop at all. And that is a lot easier. Each item. Okay. So, let's go to process, what is it, pickup? Pickup animation. Yep. In scripted event. Do this. All right. Now this hypothetically should make it so that when we're done playing the animation, it re-enables our interaction and it should automatically play the takeout animation for the object. Because it's active. It shouldn't be event-based. Okay, well, it tried something. Let's see. Can I get property method close? Oh, did we type something into the radio decoder script? We did not. Cannot call method get on null value. That means this was null. Or this was null, which kind of makes sense. Because I think earlier we removed the item upstream. Inventory process, I think we did. Yeah, so this is the inventory process which happens after our object interaction. If inventory open, if inventory is not open, selected item slot data is not null. Okay. Smoothly translate destination rotation. What does this do? This looks like map label code. Okay. From the way it seems, this code is doing map stuff, but it's attempting to access close interactable or close inspectable, and it's doing it on an object that ceased to exist. Now, that's curious. Selected item slot data. I guess both things need to actually exist, so we can do if selected item slot data not null and item held dot get children, get child count actually is more than 0, then we can go through this whole thing. Ah, okay. This actually brings a bit of a conundrum. You see, we're probably not supposed to use item held node, because item held node is pretty much kind of hard-coded for when we're literally holding an item to use it, but we're not trying to hold an item to use it, we're trying to hold it to inspect it and play the custom pickup animation. So we might have to use a secondary node in the armature of the player. See, item held node, we can duplicate it, and this could be, let's do scripted event or scripted animation item held node. Do you think it's possible to do a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1? You can remake just about Metal Gear Solid 4 in Godot, no problem. There's also a bunch of really cool PS1 shaders that folks can use to achieve a nice jittery look to it. Okay, so in this case we don't really need this. Instead, pick up. Right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go here. We're gonna make on ready var scripted animation held node. Populate a reference here so we can just talk to a variable instead of that long ass reference. Roll back around here, and then we're gonna loop through this object. Okay, next. We'll do current animation. Collider pickup animation. Okay, here we go. So we are not going to be clearing the children. Or, huh. Yeah, if we're not clearing the children, we're going to end up always displaying those items. But I suppose that's fine. So we do need to clear, and we'll play this. But there's also a question of picking up the thing. So we're not going to be putting it into the item held node. We're going to be putting it to the scripted animation item held node. And then at the end, we just destroy it. Cool. Let's give that a test. I mean, Metal Gear Solid and next-gen graphics and Godot. Yeah, absolutely. Like, if we're talking about feasibility, yes, you can definitely do like a remake of the first Metal Gear. Now, are we talking the PS1 Metal Gear, or are we talking the Nintendo Metal Gear? You know? There's an option to add custom track to an imported animation hidden in the advanced export options. Well, shit. Would have been great to know that about half an hour ago. I'm not going to complain that I do know it now. I just want to take a look at that. Advanced options. Advanced export options. Wait, advanced export options? Custom track to an import animation. You mean advanced import options? Like here? remove something. Remove immutable tracks. Is that it? Is there documentation on this? When clicking on an animation. Skip import. Okay, compression, optimizer. Huh. It doesn't, not animation player. When clicking on animation. Loop mode, save to file, slices. Well, these are the animations. Would be nice to have descriptions here if they have something special to them. Actions. Extract materials, set animation safe path, set mesh safe path. You need to save the file first. What do you mean you need to save the file first? You mean save it as in make it local? Because I knew that. I don't want to do that. If I save it local, it becomes a local animation. So if I update it and add additional animations in Blender, Blender's like, oh, whatever. I got my own version here. I don't need this new updated version. At least that's my understanding with it. I knew that you can save the animation. No, it will update it normally. Okay. It will. So if I update the animation in Blender, it will update it also the saved version. So the inheritance is still preserved. You could do the same for meshes. Well, no, hold on a second. I did the same for meshes, like OBJ files. And it was no longer being updatable. Yeah. So as soon as you do like save on the mesh, make unique and save, it's immediately gonna say, well, I'm just gonna work with this one. Don't need this this imported one. It updates it when you import the GLTF again. Okay, I'll have to test that out, for sure, because that could be helpful. For now, I guess we can work with this. Okay, let's give it a test. Oh yeah, this actually makes me realize when we remove this node and it goes into that block of code where it had an issue with the held object, it's still going to complain because there's still no held object. Which kind of makes me think maybe we should be using that item pickup node, because now we have to like either hide the second one or queue free it, but then make sure we recreate it. Maybe we'll just do this. Don't do any of that nonsense. Okay, save it. Wait for Godot to complain because there's no node. Or I guess not. It's not going to complain until I run it. There we go. So we're going to keep using the item held node. That is fine. Item held node. There we go. And then here, item held node. That's good. Because there we go. Because what we're going to end up doing instead is preventing this code, close inspectable, from running if we are in an animation. So if the inventory is not open, if the selected item data is not null, and in scripted animation is false, only then let all of this stuff run. We'll see if that works. Okay. Beautiful. Now what happened there? Okay. We queue free. Oh, well, that's probably what happened. We add the child to it, but then we queue free it. Mm-hmm. Now we could technically say only delete items that are not the one we just picked up. So if each item is not the collider, then we remove it. Okay, that's important. Otherwise it nukes everything. Okay, well that still works, but we will need to test it with... Oh, beautiful. We should probably prevent that from happening. Let's see. Inscripted animation. So, hotbar. Hotbar selected slot. Okay, can scroll and not inscripted animation. Do this whole thing. Keep going. Maybe starting with Atomicon when we program things like hotbars and item equipment equipping, we can implement these things right from the get-go. You know, keep custom animations in mind. Guess I'll do this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, definitely animating the camera will improve that. Nice. And now it crashes. Okay. And it crashed in the same place. It crashed when the animation attempted to access the item that we're holding, and yet it did not work. Okay, so you know what? I think this is the inventory process. It is called from within here. Actually, maybe it shouldn't be called from within here. Process movement input pinning objects. Right, so let's handle it within just regular process function. And we can do so after we handle object interaction, which isn't here. Where do we handle object interaction? Which is object grabbing, I believe. Okay, object grabbing. Process movement, which is itself called in the physics process. Okay, so we're gonna go to process. We're gonna call object grabbing from within here instead. Technically, object grabbing does involve a raycast, but hopefully keeping it in the process won't be that much of a problem. Okay, and object grabbing, inventory process, sure. Let's give it a test. Okay. Now, we do have some weird interaction code here. I think it's trying to interact with the knobs, even though technically that's not good. Let me just quickly fix that up. We're gonna do this. we're going to go to the toggle on, and we're going to tell this collision, and this collision to be disabled if not on. And as soon as it becomes on, disable will become false. Okay, cool. As a matter of fact, we do have to technically do this in the ready as well, which we have a post ready. This was kind of before the whole super thing was discovered. That's another thing we'll take with us in the Automacon project. Okay, there we go. So now we can interact with it normally. Pick that up. Okay. Now we weren't really holding anything. So let's try now again, except this time while holding something. Okay. I'll try to speed up this animation a little bit. Okay, so it crashed. Hey, new high score, 17. It crashed for the same exact reasons. Okay, so this is 1383. This is a function called inventory process, which dropping an item out of the inventory, remove child, destroy all items held, detect if the selected slot item has changed. Okay. Now, that usually follows this. Okay. This is the block of code that instantiates the item that we're holding in the hotbar, and it is currently not detecting if it just so happens that we have played a scripted animation. So, and the way it detects is by using what? Detect if the selected slot item has changed. If the current data, selected item, slot data. Right. So from the perspective of the code, our inventory didn't really change. Now the good news is that the code that derps out comes after the code that instantiates the item. So I suppose we can have it also check if the item is no longer existing. Check if the held item is no longer the same. And I guess we can do end held item node, or item held node get child count is 0 or is less than 1. So then what it's going to do is it will destroy anything that might be held, and then if the current item is not null, it will instantiate it. Okay, and this stuff is running in the scope of a process function, so it's actively detecting it. I think this should do it. Maybe, hopefully. I mean, technically it should. Because it does derp out when it tries to access child of the held item node. And if there is no child, then it fails. Okay, that's broken now. Because the child detection, I guess, screws with it. I guess we could do or. If the item is not the same, or it has no children, then we'll just redo the whole process. Okay, well I know that works. I need to actually select the item before. Oh yeah, and when we switch between items, our takeout animation is still in the middle of playing, so it just swaps out the item in the middle of our palm. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now it will attempt to take out the item that it was holding before the animation kicked in. Okay. I think that's pretty good. That works. So, I will take a short break, a few minutes, 10, 15 maybe, and then we'll just continue with the next item on the list, which is walking, running, and just kind of giving the camera a little bit more animation to work with. Cool. All right, break time. Alrighty, cool. So, what's next on the list? What's next on the list is walking animation. We have the sprinting technically. We need to get the walking animation. And I think the walking is basically just going to be a slight camera movement. And then finally, technically we can do crawling as well. We do have a crawling thing that happens. Cool. Let's get the hand rig. We have sprinting. Huh. There we go. Let's bring it over here. This one will be 20 frames. But I guess we have sprint, walk. This is going to be protected. Walk, loop. And I think it's pretty much just everything the head does, just slightly smaller. And no other animations. So we'll just do this. Clear transform, all, and then that should be fine. We'll take this. Okay, just ease up. And then this needs to be a little bit longer. Okay, cool. Now, what else we got? We need idle. Okay, so if we do idle, I guess we can clone this, protect this. Idle is going to be maybe just a really long version of this. Let's do like 120. Sure, that could work. And now for the crawl, we can do, let's do walk loop. And then we're gonna copy it. Crawl. Mm-hmm. Now crawling is going to be more left and right. I think that's going to end up making a small pause in the animation. We do have the ability to create an animation, to export animations that are mentioned in the NLA editor rather than in the actions list. And I think that way we can make an animation that has this like extra cutoff bit at the end. Okay, for now let's just work with this. We're going to export engine models items hand rigs, not items, this is player. Okay. There we go. All right, get back here. So we have our animation, FPS animation process. Cool. So if the velocity is more than 2, so we're walking. If sprinting, it does the sprint animation. Else, well, else we need to play the walking animation. We have this one, which has idle. Well, that's curious. Did we already have an idle? Idle 1. Okay. We have idle here. What is this? That's an actual idle. And then this idle 1, what is this? That's just like a stationary thing. Why did I animate the hands here? They're out of view. Okay. Idle. Hold. Okay, let's just do that. Let's take a look at the player, animation player, idle. Yeah, so it's just the camera. Okay, so we'll go back here. If velocity is more than 2, and then if we're sprinting, then it does sprint empty. Else, it plays idle, but it should be doing walk. Let's give that a test. Oh yeah, totally forgot. We need idle loop. Let's just close that out. Does close have a shortcut? F8. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go idle. And if we include loop, Godot will immediately interpret that as a looping animation. Sprint empty, walk loop, sprint empty, and then idle loop. There we go. Nice. What am I waiting for? Did it import? It did not. Oh, yes it did. There we go. No, that should be on, so it did not import. Let's try that again. Come on now. You can detect changes. You're a big boy now. Okay, so we've got... Just gotta give it a sec. There we go. And now we have idle, and it's a looping animation. Beautiful. Let's give that a test. There we go. I think the animation is a little slow. We have the sprint. The footsteps aren't matching the animation. That's gonna have to be fixed. Okay. And then here we are in the idle state. Okay, idle needs to be longer. Let's go like 200. Next, walk loop has to be faster. I don't think I need to adjust this number. It just uses the location of the start and the end frame as the animation length, which is, of course, kind of a downfall of using this. We can't make seamless animations without seriously messing with some of the keyframes. Okay. That's good. Let's run this. Okay, that's sprint. That's fine. Okay, walk looks okay. And then when we stand still, nice. Okay, what about crouching? Let's see. We do have a crouching variable. Okay, so we do if velocity is above 2, then if crouching, we do one thing, else we do the rest of this. Okay. If we're crouching, do we have... Yeah, we have a crouch animation. Is it a looping one? Crawl. Okay. Okay, so it's crawl loop, but it should be imported as crawl, and it is looping. Let's give that a test. I mean, that should pretty much be it, but the troubles will come when we have to blend with the hand animations while they're holding something. I think that's where we'll have some issues. We might have to start using blend trees for that. Okay. That's crawling, which kind of makes sense. Okay. Wrong. You still in the chat? Would we be able to take a look at this whole solution to keeping the method call tracks? Okay, so you said we have to save the animation first, right? Let's see here. So we had... Do we have to save it on import? What do we do here? Enable save to file in advanced import settings. Okay, so we go hands rig, import, advanced import, and then this is on a specific animation. Save the file. Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Okay, got it. One sec. So enable save to file in advanced settings. So we're looking at let's do the radio toggle first. So we're gonna go item pick up something. There we go. So save to file. Keep custom tracks. Okay. And then we can give it... So that option didn't show up until we actually clicked on enable. Cool. All right. So I guess we do animations. Armature animations. We'll click, give it a folder called player. So, okay, so this has to be done on a per animation basis, right? You can't just like tell the entire animation player to do this. Not a big deal, technically, because as long as there's a solution, I'm already happy. Let's call this pickup radio locator. Wait, aren't there import defaults? Does this window have import defaults? Like if you want to always say you use linear nearest neighbor for textures instead of linear interpolation, you can set an import default and it would always check that option. Pick up a radio locator. Okay. Cool. Re-import. Nice. You can save all the files if you click the action menu at the top. Okay. Got it. I guess that also works. Not every animation is going to need to have this whole effect feature. Let's work on this one. So we go to pickup radio locator. We will add call method track. This is the player. Okay, there we go. This is toggle radio. Boolean true. Cool. All right. Now we're going to go into the secondary animation player, this one. We're going to disable it so it doesn't do anything. As a matter of fact, we're going to put it at the end as well. And I guess here goes nothing. Let's see this. Ah. Alright. Okay. Final test. If we delete this node, is it gonna still do it? Okay. Moment of truth. I'm sure it's gonna work. It's just, you know, whatever, being over dramatic. Tested reimports. Okay, that's actually a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted that note so hastily. Oh, you know what? I'll add camera motion to this animation now. And we'll test with that. Because we gotta do it anyways. Alright, so that works. Cool. Whew. Let's see now. Item take out radio locator. Just gonna bring this back. And also, let's see if I can do the whole camera switch. Set the proper FOV and configuration. So camera, sensor fit. Okay. What was the sensor fit setting? I think it's vertical. Blend is vertical default. Godot is horizontal default. So we do horizontal. And then we go here. Well, hold on, Steven. Didn't you write a note on Discord? The Blender vertical default, Godot is horizontal default? Camera sensor fit to oh, hold on. Well, if I finish reading your comment, I'm gonna know what's up. All right, there we go. And then what's the FOV of the FPS camera? 80. Okay. So set it. Hey, it's already 80. Nice. Now, don't need this. As a matter of fact, yeah, that might cause an issue. Cool. So technically, if I go to the armature and then take a look at the inspect, or what is it, pickup, we know that for a brief moment, the object leaves the camera view. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't seem too out of place. I think the bottom of the camera is a little bit cut off in Godot. Let's see. Field of view. Yes. Height? Huh. Okay. Do we have to change something about the height? We have field of view and we have height. Does the height need to match? What is the height that you used? Let's see. Height of the sensor. Come on, Discord, load the damn image. Shouldn't have to mess with it all. Okay, so if I reset it to default, let's double check. Whoops, not that. Don't need this. So in your case, it was 24. In my case, it's also 24. Let's see here. At which point does the radio locator clip through the bottom of the screen? Okay. Inspect. Okay. Second half of the inspect has the small knob clipping through the screen. Okay. So that's first, second. Okay. So this right here is where the small knob clips through the screen, and it kind of clips by about this much. So I think if we do this, that should more or less match. Let me just double check the camera. So this is the camera that we're using. It doesn't have any transforms in it. Does the camera wiggle have transforms? No. Does the camera bob have transforms? No. Does the... Well, the bone attachment follows a bone, so at that point, we're pretty much done. Okay. And then, of course, we have a remote transform node, which tells the FPS camera to follow the same transform, so everything should be pretty much lined up. Okay. Now, I do have a walk bobbing animation right here. Walk bob loop, and it's playing the footstep, but it's got the missing animation frames from the porting process. Okay, we should be able to get rid of this. Okay, so this is on walk bobbing animation finished. This is how we were looping the animation. Okay, so it checks if we're still walking and causes it to play the animation again. Now that's no longer required, so get rid of that. Where else do we talk to this node? If locked in interaction, stop. I think we don't need this either. Just this part. We're gonna get rid of the node anyways. Walk bob loop. Play the camera bob animation, not required anymore. We got one baked into the hands. The scale of the animation, based on if we're sprinting or not, also not required. Was a nice little feature. Well, that's it. Scale. Oh yeah, we might have to do something for speed adjustments, because we do have the player walking through various levels of water or swamp juice, and their speed, which means by extension their animation, should be affected. Their bobbing animation. If we're gonna end up using blend trees for that, which I'm pretty sure we are, we can just adjust it from there. Alright, you can go to hell. Beautiful. Now, we are gonna need to also save a couple of other animations here. So, first we have walk, sprint empty, and then crawl. Okay. Okay, so this would be armature animations, player, walk, and already messed up. This is crawl. Then we need the walk. And then sprint. Beautiful. Okay. Now, we were gonna add some frames to this to test whether or not the re-importing actually preserves the animation. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Hey, Dimitar. Good day. Oh, you know, working away, getting all sorts of animations set up. I'm just gonna do up and down for now. Well, that alignment looks awkward. Okay, and then here we're just gonna clear transforms. Keep it straight. Okay, this is just for verification that the animations are getting updated. I didn't place any additional tracks though. No, I did. The toggle track. That should be enough. Oh, yeah, but of course I forgot to uncheck export for the placeholder. All right. Oh, the camera's animations are there. Nice. Yes. The nested method call tracks are still there. Beautiful. Oh man, this is awesome. That is pretty freaking cool. Alright, we do technically have one tiny thing that we can fix. And it's the fact that if we pick it up again... Oh. Which apparently I can't. Oh. There we go. Looks amazing. It just plays the animation every time you pick it up. What's this thing? Oh, I've never seen it. Oh, Bobby. Cool. So yeah, we could infinitely enjoy this animation. Now this is a little weird, like the fact that I can't actually I can't actually interact with it. Whoa, okay. Unless I look away. No. Hmm. Okay. Oh. I can't grab it again. Like I can't grab it as a physics object. Maybe it's because it's sleeping? Okay. Well, that's a bug. Animation is a little stiff right now. Oh, that light doesn't turn on. Probably because we have multiple of these radios in the level, and they're overriding each other. Multiple of these lights. Guess we just make it local to scene. Okay, now what happened to the item grab? Okay, when it's done playing the pickup animation, in scripted animation is false. Destroy whatever we were playing with. Hmm. Okay. And then we've got this. If inscripted event is true, return. I guess we can try printing this. Maybe we get stuck in it, and that's why we can't interact. Little bits and pieces. Gotta fix it up. Okay, so at the moment, inscripted animation is false. Do this. Okay, so it's true. Okay. And now it's false. Okay, now if I drop radio locator, I cannot interact with it. Interesting. But it does say the scripted animation is false. Okay. And it takes me pressing and letting go of the grab button before it can recognize it again. So perhaps we can look into that. Object grabbing. We have a variable that is, what is it? Frame 100, frame milliseconds. Okay, this is it. This is where we start grabbing. So it checks if we're holding the grab button and if the collider is storable, if it's in a group of storable, and we can take it. Okay, but before then, we have to pass this condition and this condition. Held item is null. That might be an issue. Held item might not be null. Okay, well, hold on a second. A held item, I think, is used for physical interaction. I'm pretty sure this is the reason. Let's try it. So we're going to take held item, inscripted event, comma, held item. Maybe because when we hold the button long enough to pick it up, but because it doesn't just get picked up immediately, it ends up being interpret it as we're trying to grab it as a physics object. I think that might actually be the case. Okay, so held item is null. Hold it. It's still null. Man, the camera motion adds so much. It adds so much cool pizzazz to it. Radio locator. Let's drop it down. Yeah, so it's definitely not held item. Something else happens. Grab. Okay, here we do pressed, pressed, pressed. Released. Pressed, pressed, released. Grabbing item physically. Actually, you know what? What if we're doing this, frame 100, and then it continues running this, which causes it to goof some stuff up. Let's try this. So, play the item-specific pickup sound. We're gonna take this. Is scripted animation true? Let's see. So this, do we use this anywhere here? We do not. We use it right there. So what if we move this up here? I believe that should be on the same level. No, it is here. That's for resetting the frames timer. Okay, so do that. Get rid of this here. Then take the sound playback, move it over here, and then when we're done with this whole thing, we're gonna return, which should hypothetically bypass all the rest of this code, which I think should be fine if we do it for a single frame. Okay. Okay, so that's still not the case. So we have to explicitly press and release E, and then it can be interacted with again, except we can't also grab it as a physics object. Okay. Where else do we use this? Grab execute it. Oh, that could be it. That's actually, yeah, that seems like something that would happen. Grab execute it becomes true here. Interesting. When you pick up item, instead of disabling, technically, yes, I freeze the rigid body, which causes it to just become a static element. So here we set grab executed to true. But then here, if we release it, check if the player let go of the grab key before allowing to grab something again. Makes sense. Ah, that could be it. You see, grab executed was to prevent you from holding the button down and just look at an object and look at another object and look at another object so you can just pick things up without letting go of the key. I think when we launch an animation, we need to toggle it off. So grab executed, true. Oh, we make it true. So here it's got to be false. Okay. Nice. I don't think the camera is still fully matched. Okay. Hey, there we go. Now, I still can't really grab this thing, per se. Not as a physics object. And for some reason, it still plays the pickup sound. Okay. No, I think it just plays the regular grab sound. Okay. Interacting with levers, not the stationary physics, body interactable objects. If it's grabbable, okay. If the fill bar fills up, cool. Grabbing items physically. Can grab has to be true or... Well, yeah, it has to have can grab, and can grab has to be true. Is that the case? Can grab is true. Yes. Did we just release the grab button? Yes. Grab joint node. Did we get any errors? None that pertain to grabbing. This could potentially be caused by the fact that our camera is inside of an armature, and the armature has animations that keep moving the camera. And the problem with that is the physics objects have to rely entirely on physics and not be modified by anything else to allow us to physically interact with objects. So if we use a pin joint to pin whatever we're looking at so we can physically pick it up, that's essentially that operation has to be unobstructed by anything else. Now maybe I can set the playback of the animation player to be in physics frames. Process physics. Callback mode. Maybe. And maybe this will allow us to still interact. Because we didn't really change anything in grabbing, physical grabbing code, aside from us moving the node to be inside of an armature. So I think that's what's up. We may or may not have to actually move the node outside.